Fabulous Dale Evans, who of course was famous for her TV and movie role during the 1940s, 50s, and 60s, especially alongside her husband, Roy Rogers.
Dale Evans, the beloved Queen of the West, spent her life alongside cowboy legend Roy Rogers, capturing hearts with their tales of love and faith. But behind the scenes, Dale's journey was marked by secrets, loss, and a shocking confession about her husband that left many stunned. Her final years were filled with pain, both physical and emotional, as she revealed the truth that had haunted her for decades. What was Dale's darkest secret that she couldn't keep hidden any longer? Dale Evans wasn't always the glamorous cowgirl you've seen on screen. She was born as Francis Octavus Smith on October 31, 1912, in Uvalde, Texas. Her early years were tough, marked by instability and heartbreak. Frances, or Francy as she was sometimes called, spent much of her childhood living with her uncle, Dr. L.D. Massey, an internal medicine physician in Ula, Arkansas. Life with her uncle was meant to bring some stability, but young Frances still faced uncertainty and challenges. At just 14 years old, Frances made a daring decision. She eloped with a man named Thomas Fox. By 15, she became a mother to Thomas Fox Jr. It wasn't the fairy tale she hoped for. Her young husband abandoned her just a year later, leaving Frances a single mother in Memphis, Tennessee. Suddenly, she was on her own, struggling to raise a child while pursuing a dream in music. But Frances was determined. In Memphis, she landed singing gigs at radio stations WMC and WRC, where she played the piano, sang, and built a small following. It was a start, but life wasn't easy. She was divorced by 1929, and her dreams of a music career still seemed out of reach. Then came a significant change, a new name. While working at WHAS in Louisville, Kentucky, a station manager suggested a catchier name, one that would be easier for announcers to pronounce: Dale Evans. It sounded bright, snappy, and memorable. Frances embraced it, hoping a new name could bring a new start. In her early career, Dale found her footing as a jazz, swing, and big band singer. She had a voice that was both smooth and strong, making her a favorite among radio listeners. Her talent earned her a screen test, leading to a contract with 20th Century Fox Studios. Dale was finally stepping into the limelight, but it came with strings attached. Hollywood wanted her image to be perfect, clean, innocent, and free from scandal. So, studio executives cooked up a story. Dale wasn't a single mom but rather the unmarried, devoted sister of her teenage brother, Tommy. In reality, Tommy was her son, Thomas Fox Jr., but the truth was hidden. It was a painful lie, but one Dale was forced to play along with to keep her career afloat. Dale's love life was just as complicated as her early career. After her first failed marriage to Fox, she tried again. In 1929, she married August Wayne Johns. This marriage lasted until 1935 but ended without children or much happiness. Dale kept pushing forward, both in love and career. In 1937, she married Robert Dale Butts, an accompanist and arranger who worked closely with her music. This marriage was marked by collaboration rather than passion. Together they worked on Dale's singing career, but their personal relationship struggled. By 1946, Dale and Butts were divorced, another failed marriage in the rearview mirror. During her time at 20th Century Fox, Dale became more than just a voice on the radio. She was being molded into a star. Her name was growing, and she landed a spot as the featured singer on the Edgar Bergen-Charlie McCarthy Show. It was a massive boost, introducing her to a broader audience. Dale's cowgirl image was also taking shape. Her wardrobe included signature pieces like embroidered white leather gauntlets and pink rhinestone cowboy boots, adding a touch of glamour to her country persona. On New Year's Eve, 1947, Dale Evans married Roy Rogers at the Flying L Ranch in Davis, Oklahoma. It wasn't just another wedding, it was a merging of two Hollywood icons. This was Rogers' third marriage and Dale's fourth, but they were a perfect match. The two had met on the set of Home in Oklahoma and had been a popular on-screen duo for over a year before they tied the knot. Their chemistry wasn't just for the cameras, they became partners both professionally and personally, sharing a life that was full of love, loss, and a lot of cowboy hats. Shortly after the wedding, Dale decided it was time for honesty. For years, the studios had spun a tale that her son, Tommy, was actually her teenage brother. Now married to Rogers, Dale was ready to set the record straight. Tommy was her son, not her sibling. The truth was finally out, and Rogers, who already had 3 children from his second marriage, Cheryl, Linda, and Roy Jr., Dusty, embraced Dale's son as his own. In 1950, the couple welcomed their first child together, Robin Elizabeth. It was a joyous moment, but it was followed by heartbreak. Robin was born with Down syndrome and faced many health challenges. She died shortly before her second birthday due to complications. Dale was devastated, but she turned her grief into a mission. She wrote Angel Unaware, a book about Robin's short life. It was more than just a tribute, it was a call to change public perceptions of children with developmental disabilities. Her efforts made a significant impact, and the Oklahoma County Council for Mentally Retarded Children was renamed the Dale Rogers Training Center in her honor. Dale continued to write numerous books, most of which were religious and inspirational, offering hope to parents facing similar struggles. Roy and Dale didn't stop with Robin, they adopted 4 more children, Mimi, Dodie, Sandy, and Debbie, expanding their already blended family. Despite their busy careers, they tried to provide a loving home for all their children. The couple's on-screen chemistry translated into massive success. From 1951 to 1957, they starred in The Roy Rogers Show. Dale rode her trusty buckskin horse, Buttermilk, while Roy rode Trigger. The series showcased their cowboy and cowgirl roles, but Dale brought more to the show than just a smile and a song. She added a touch of compassion and a message of faith, frequently encouraging viewers to turn to God in times of trouble. But Dale wasn't only focused on the screen. In 1962, she and Roy co-hosted The Roy Rogers and Dale Evans Show, a comedy western variety program. By then, Dale was already outspoken about her Christian beliefs. She used her platform to spread the word, often integrating faith into the show's themes. In 1964, she took a bold step into politics, speaking at the Project Prayer Rally at the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles. The rally aimed to bring back mandatory school prayer following 2 Supreme Court decisions that had struck it down. Dale stood before 2,500 attendees and declared, "It's high time that all America stood up to be counted. Let our children learn of the Lord and be free." She was joined by Hollywood stars like Walter Brennan, Rhonda Fleming, and Pat Boone, all supporting the cause. When the 1964 presidential election rolled around, Dale showed her political stripes again. She supported Barry Goldwater, the conservative candidate known for his hardline stance on American values. Dale's endorsement wasn't just symbolic, she actively campaigned, aligning her Christian beliefs with Goldwater's message. This wasn't surprising, Dale's entire public persona was built around faith, family, and patriotism. In the 1970s, Dale shifted her focus back to music. She recorded several solo albums of religious songs, staying true to her faith. The songs were simple yet powerful, echoing themes of redemption, love, and hope. Even as television changed, Dale and Roy remained a beloved part of American culture. Throughout the 1980s, they introduced their old films on the Nashville network, bringing nostalgia to new audiences. The 1990s brought a new chapter for Dale. She launched her own religious television program, reaching out to viewers with messages of faith and hope. She continued to share her story, her struggles, and her unwavering belief that God had a plan for everyone. Even as Roy's health declined, Dale remained a beacon of strength. She was by his side until his death in 1998, ending a partnership that had lasted over 5 decades. In 1955, Rogers and Evans purchased a sprawling 168-acre ranch near Chatsworth, California, expanding it over time to 300 acres. It was a picturesque setting, fitting for 2 Western stars. But despite the scenic beauty and Hollywood success, tragedy struck them hard. In 1964, their adopted daughter, Debbie, was killed in a devastating church bus accident. She was only 12 years old. It was a heartbreaking blow that shook Dale and Roy to their core. The accident happened during a church outing, a trip that was meant to be filled with joy, but the bus lost control, leading to Debbie's untimely death. Dale was crushed by the loss. She often described it as one of the darkest moments of her life, saying that no parent should have to bury their child. Debbie's death changed Dale. She felt a deep sense of guilt, wondering if she could have done something to protect her daughter. Despite her pain, she remained committed to her faith, believing that Debbie was in a better place, reunited with their daughter Robin, who had died years earlier. The tragedy prompted Roy and Dale to make a life-changing decision. They left their beloved ranch in Chatsworth and moved to the 67-acre Double R Bar Ranch in Apple Valley, California. It was a fresh start, but the memories of Debbie's death haunted Dale. She threw herself into work, continuing to speak publicly about faith and perseverance. But there was a shift in Dale's tone. Her message became more raw and honest, often touching on the reality of grief and the struggle to keep faith alive during times of unimaginable pain. Throughout their marriage, Dale and Roy remained partners in every sense of the word, yet their relationship wasn't always smooth. In her later years, Dale began to reveal some of the struggles she faced. While never speaking ill of Roy publicly, she hinted at the pressures of their lifestyle, Roy's strict discipline as a father, and the strain that their careers placed on their family life. She described moments of loneliness, particularly during times when Roy was away filming or touring. Dale's honesty extended beyond her marriage. She also shared details about her own regrets, particularly the deceptions she felt forced to maintain during her early career. She admitted that the decision to pretend her son Tommy was her brother for so many years haunted her, even after she revealed the truth. It was a burden she carried privately, one that added to the pain she experienced throughout her life. Despite the heartache, Dale never stopped believing in the power of faith, family, and love. Her daughter, Dodie, often speaks about how Dale's resilience shaped her own life. "Mom was a strong woman," Dodie recalls. "She faced tragedy after tragedy, but she always found a way to keep going." Dale Evans passed away on February 7, 2001, at the age of 88, just 3 years after Roy's death. Her final years were marked by declining health, but she remained committed to sharing her story and promoting her faith. Dodie remembers her mother's last days as peaceful, with Dale expressing her readiness to reunite with Roy and her lost children in heaven. Dodie continues to honor her parents' legacy, often appearing at events and sharing stories of her life growing up as part of the Rogers-Evans family. She emphasizes that while her parents were beloved Hollywood stars, they were also real people who faced real struggles. "Mom wasn't afraid to reveal the truth," Dodie says. "She believed in sharing the good and the bad because that's what makes a person whole." Dale Evans and Roy Rogers weren't just stars, they were legends. Their impact goes beyond Hollywood screens and country music charts, shaping the Western genre and inspiring fans across generations. Their legacy is etched in stone, literally, on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Dale has 2 stars there, one for radio at 6638 Hollywood Boulevard and another for television at 1737 Vine Street. These stars represent not just her success but a pioneering spirit in the entertainment industry. Roy Rogers has 3 stars of his own. His stars for motion pictures, television, and radio are all clustered along Vine Street. This trifecta is rare and reflects his influence across multiple mediums. Roy also received the Golden Boot Award in 1983 and later the Golden Boot Founders Award in 1996, celebrating his impact on the Western genre. In 1976, both Dale and Roy were inducted into the Western Performers Hall of Fame at the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum in Oklahoma City. This was a fitting honor for 2 icons who became synonymous with the Western way of life. Dale returned to the same Hall of Fame in 1995, this time as an inductee to the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame in Fort Worth, Texas. Roy was also honored as a founding member of the Sons of the Pioneers, the band that launched his career in the music world. Dale made waves, too. In 2002, she was ranked number 34 on CMT's 40 Greatest Women in Country Music. Her song, Happy Trails, remains a beloved anthem, symbolizing not just a career but a philosophy of life. The couple's legacy as musicians is cemented by Roy's induction into the Country Music Hall of Fame twice. In 1980 he was inducted as part of the Sons of the Pioneers, and then again in 1988 as a solo artist. As of August 2022, he is still the only person to achieve this dual honor. The couple's story was also recognized on the Palm Springs Walk of Stars, where they share a Golden Palm Star dedicated to them in 2001. But their influence extends beyond honors and plaques. Dale's impact reaches into the realm of advocacy. Her efforts for children with special needs were groundbreaking, and the Dale Rogers Training Center in Oklahoma stands as a testament to her work. She changed the way society viewed children with developmental disabilities, using her own story to inspire compassion and understanding. Roy's legacy has a different flavor. He was proud of his Cherokee heritage, and in 1967 he was named Outstanding Indian Citizen of the Year by a group of Western tribes. This recognition highlighted his dedication to preserving Native American culture, even as he became one of the most recognizable cowboys in the world. Even pop culture has been touched by their legacy. Roy Rogers is referenced in songs like If I Had a Boat by Lyle Lovett, Roy Rogers by Elton John, and Should Have Been a Cowboy by Toby Keith. Roy even makes a cameo in the music video for Randy Travis's Heroes and Friends. In the movie Die Hard, Bruce Willis's character, John McClane, uses Roy as a pseudonym, saying, "I was always kind of partial to Roy Rogers, actually." It's a subtle nod, but it shows just how deeply Roy's persona has embedded itself in the American consciousness. Dale's story also lives on through her daughter, Cheryl Rogers Barnett, who co-authored Cowboy Princess, Life with My Parents Roy Rogers and Dale Evans. Cheryl's book provides an intimate look at life behind the scenes, capturing the love, struggles, and lessons learned from 2 of America's most beloved stars. In 2018, both Dale and Roy were inducted into the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum, further solidifying their roles as cultural icons. Dale's work in inspiring young women, especially those with limited opportunities, makes her an enduring role model. And for Roy, his name remains synonymous with the ideal of the Western hero, a man of honor, integrity, and resilience. Their films continue to inspire fans, with the Sons of the Pioneers still performing Roy's classic songs. The family works tirelessly to preserve their legacy, appearing at events, publishing memoirs, and keeping the spirit of the cowboy alive. Dale and Roy's story isn't just one of fame, it's a tale of love, loss, faith, and an unwavering dedication to their values. They rode the trails of life with grace, facing both sunny days and stormy weather, and through it all, they kept smiling, just like their theme song promised. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel, The Celebrity X Files, for more documentaries like this. Thank you for watching.